What's up, y'all? Y'all all right? Good. If not, let's get better. How you feeling? Yeah. I hope everything is all right. I wanted to make sure I came on today. I was just sitting here. I'm doing some reading, and I was thinking about the lessons and the lessons that I was putting out there. And I was thinking about, like I said, again, we talk about the root and going back to the beginning and understanding, how you, get to certain points in your life and starting, what the start of, the beginning, going back to the beginning and finding out exactly where you know, what can possibly, how'd you come, whether it's, from family, whether it's coming from business, whether it's coming from education, where did you start at? What is the root, Then we went on to the, becoming a asset management and protection, learning how to now take that root and start now building the branches of knowledge that you start to gain. Starting to understand, what directions. You might learn certain things that'll be in, that'll stick with you for life, such as changing a tire. We're talking about that asset that's being an asset, that's adding value because that's something that you'll never forget. Tying your shoe, tying a tie, teaching someone how to do those things becomes an asset. You become an asset. You add value to yourself when you get education, depending upon whatever field you're going into. And you manage that by not keeping your mind right, your body in shape, and your spirit being guided by, the positivity. You know. Then we talked about now going on to growth and development. Now, how do we grow from use? How do we grow and use and advance ourselves and, use that knowledge and wisdom to go to the next level, to go to the next place, to the next, use that stuff to now, apply and be an asset to others. Because I can be an asset to myself and be able to add the value, but when I go to others or go into a business or go into a job or go into these different fields, what am I adding? Am I adding value to it? Because guess what? If I'm adding value, that increases the production numbers, that increases the quality of service, that increases, your asset increases things. The asset increases. You don't want to become a liability because the liability is that's when they say, you know what, your services are no longer needed. So you always want to make sure you're the asset and being able to add value to whatever situation you may be in. Then we talked about now going into the understanding part of, what is the knowledge, wisdom, what's the order, what's the process. We talked about three: Father, Son, Holy Ghost, man, mother, child, Father, Father, child, son. So we go into those, that mind, body, and soul, same difference. Everything is led by what? The Father, the mind, giving you information, giving you knowledge, all on the same level. Father, knowledge. Now you go on to action. The action part of it, the man. Father God, man, Holy Spirit. Boom. So the man is now putting the stuff in action that the Father has given him. He has given you, knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, wisdom. Now you have to display that wisdom, that knowledge, that stuff that you have to apply it. There's levels to it. Get the knowledge. Apply the knowledge. Now, you're able to now be led by the Spirit or have knowledge, understanding. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Mind, body, soul. It all connects. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. So now when you have understanding, now the knowledge is being displayed through the wisdom that you're putting, and now you have an understanding because now you know how to get through any situation, regardless of anything that may, society may put on it. Whether it's race, whether it's gender, you can talk to anybody universally. You become universal because now you're burning by the Spirit of the Father who's giving you the knowledge, and you're displaying those actions on the instruction that He gave you. You're displaying that action. Now you have understanding to be able to now teach, observe, and manage. So now that leads into now, like I said, you got your root, you got your asset management, you're starting to become an asset, you're starting to grow and develop. Now you start to see prosperity. Prosperity doesn't always mean monetarily. It means just a movement up in levels, or maybe a movement up into now it could, like I said, it could be monetarily. But sometimes it's spiritual blessings. When you put information out there, and I'm on the way. My positivity, it must touch someone. My goal is to, if it touches one person, out of everywhere that I share, if it touches one person, I'm on the right track. Levels. You have to make sure you're able to speak to everybody on every level. Some people like to use those fancy words, want to use those, the words they use in the dictionary, and want to use it and say, people may not understand those words and have to sit back. What did that mean? Okay, no problem. I don't want to have to ask you. I don't want to have to, my thing is I have to break it down like a fraction. So that if I do use a big word, or if I use it, it's still broken down where we can all understand. It's no back talk. It's no, they call it diplomacy. We can tell someone to go to hell and they'll look forward to the trip. Sometimes in situations, let's talk straight. Because, sometimes, you try to play that, the psychological mind games. Been there, done that. Let's talk straight. Because I respect you more instead of trying to insult the intelligence. So you have to make sure you understand knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Understanding when it comes sometimes, like I say, linguistics, language. We may be saying the same thing in two different ways. You may be saying trying to be the same. We may have both have the same view, but we're saying it in two different ways, and we're passionate about the way we say it. And then there's a mix-up because that's what we don't understand linguistics. But if you understand linguistics, okay, hey man, what you jumping for? We on the same team. We going for the same. So that's what I get like. Wait a minute, we on the same. Okay, you must have said something different then, because I know for sure. I know I'm listening. Shit, I may be blind. I may not be able to. I ain't got no 20/20 vision. But as they say, when one of your senses go down, the other ones come get a little stronger. And one thing about it, my hearing is strong. I can hear ant pissing on cotton. But it's the real estate. It's real. It's real. You know what I'm saying? It's the realest thing in the world, So, I got to correct it so somebody take my glasses off just so I can make sure I heard that. Did I hear that correctly? Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me take a breath real quick. Did I just say this? Hold on, because now you're about to make me flip the table. So you have to understand. Hold on, let me take a break. Hold on. You have to be like Carl Stokes. Mother what? You have to be like Fannie Mae. Wait a minute, wait up. Or Eric Mays. You got to be hard on it. You got to go hard in the paint sometimes. Okay, wait a minute. You just can't go up in and score up on me. I got to square up too. So y'all fight. We fight. So make sure you have those understandings where we can now fight those battles and be able to win some things. So today's lesson just simply goes into now. How do we now go on to become the NEGUS, the NEGUS, the kings that we are, the men that we're supposed to be? How do we, as men, how does iron sharpen iron? We always, hating on each other, can't have the conversation and say, let me tell you, this was X, Y, Z. My father would sit down, we had to have the conversation. Hey, son, wait a minute. This ain't what we got to represent. Now, you got your own decision to make, my son. You got your own decision to make, but on this behalf, who you representing? When you walk out that door, who do you represent? And you ain't going to be representing me in no fashion, shit. So when I walk out my door, who do I represent? And sometimes, again, like, let's say my father's not here, so there's a certain someone I go to that, kind of, be like tag team partners, but it's sometimes like, okay, hey, don't ease up, Nick. No, because sometimes, something about that. When you're out there by yourself, sometimes wait a minute, you got to get some advice. Some fatherly advice, somebody's going to teach you, somebody's going to observe you, and somebody's going to mentor you. To see that, oh, hold on, wait, man, you got something, you're pretty good at what you do. I'm not gonna invest no time in nobody that ain't trying to invest no time in putting, doing something positive. Let's uplift and do something. Wow. Why can't I go ahead and put a program together and say these brothers, they made some mistakes in their life. Why not go out there and say, well, look, you know what? Let me put my foot boots to the ground and say, how can I help you? Oh, great idea. Let me go up here and hold a workshop where you can now let's get our names back. Let's get your name back. That ain't cost me nothing. Because we're sharing information. Didn't cost you nothing to say, you know what can I do just to help a little bit? What can I do to help you build your new legacy? How can I help you get a new life, but a new day and a new legacy if I ain't doing my part? So let me reach out to this purpose. Let me get into the venue. Now let me invite you out and let's get that back together. Let's see how let's do this here. Because I had to listen to you. I have to look at these groups and I look at some of the things. I'm looking for a job, this, that, right. So I say, okay, no problem. But one question they're going to ask you. You got a family? But okay, if that's the question, well, here go another answer for you. I'm going to get my name back because I got my mind expunged. I made a mistake. I made, Now I can go to this workshop and learn the process on getting my name back. Brothers, that's what a brother's supposed to do as a man. So how do we become a NEGUS? How do we start using our crown? We have to first talk, it's 9 things we need. Just like we have 9 fruits of the Spirit, there's 9 things that we need. First of all, you need some courage, a fearlessness. Sometimes, people, again, when you belong in certain societies, certain communities, you have a certain way of you doing the thing. Okay? Now, when someone new comes in, and let's just say, for instance, you got a new city, they ain't never had a Sheets in their neighborhood. But the owner is Sheets is not from your community. So the owner of Sheets got to give you a presentation and show you the value and what's going to happen if this Sheets is put in your neighborhood. He's going to tell them about creating the jobs. He's going to create about providing the need of getting gas, making things inconvenience, making sure that we economic development, making sure that we now he's going to give you the plan of action of how he's going to make sure that the Sheets, why do you want to have this Sheets? This is what it's going to bring. These are the benefits. So you have to be courageous in going out and putting your stuff out there, and you have to sell yourself in a manner so, again, the asset can be seen, and how can it be an asset to all? Now, there's going to be maybe some questions about some liability. Maybe some liability. Okay, we might have a little bit more traffic here in this area, but how can we ease that? Oh, you know what? It may be a little, on the opening days, our gas going to be a little cheaper than everybody else's, so it's going to cause a little stir. So how do we help this? But the benefits is, it's going to be more, hold on, guess what? All this is a strip, so guess what? All these businesses are going to benefit because it's going to be more traffic. Oh my God, there's Hobby Lobby. Oh my God, there's Five Guys. Oh my God, I'm hungry. Let me go over to King's. Oh man, guess what they got over here? So it's bringing the traffic, the benefits. So you got to be courageous and bring your presentation with a fearless attitude. The next thing you have to do is be truthful. Tell the truth. Now, the landowner sold the property to Walmart. This is in Garfield Heights. The landowner sell this property to Walmart, right? This land. They built on it, but the city failed to tell the Walmart the regular conditions. They weren't truthful. They were just about the money. So they forgot to tell them about this gas, this situation now we got to close down the whole Walmart because you wasn't truthful and honest, because you knew this information before we had it. I come in the business, giving you everything. People got my business plan. This is what I'm about. This is new. I'm Jasmine Brown, representing New Legacy Group LLC. Truthfully and honestly, here it is. If you want to ask any questions, it's in the documentation. Oh, you didn't read it? Oh man, dog. That's where we get in trouble at, man, because we don't read things. We sign contracts and we don't even know we signed it. Expressing it and implied. Okay, and the implied contract is, guess what? We sat here, made, this is what, hey, we implied the instruction. We implied that. But express means, that's what? Wait a minute. No, but implied is express and implied can be two different meanings, but implied meaning we know what we implied it. This is a vending machine, for example. The question, the contract is, the implied contract is, if I put my money in here, I put that number, you're supposed to be giving me something for this cash I got. That's an implied contract. I know that because I don't have to ask you no questions. You should know. If I got to go in here and it says pay for parking, that's an implied contract. Here, now you got to go over to this box or go over to this window and pay for the parking. It's an implied contract. Okay, you go into a grocery store, the implied contract is any item that you want, you're supposed to go here and now go and get that item and pay for it. Correct? No, express is not maybe, you tell the person or you put it in writing, hey, this is the express meaning of this is what I want you to do. I want you to, this is your job, this is my job, and this is our agreement. Let's sign up on it. Okay? So sometimes people forget about the implied part of it because that's what you just provided me the authority. You provided authority. When you provided authority, the authority of it was the vending machine. Again, they have the whole. They have the authority over whatever I say. I own the vending machine. I'm not there, but my machine should do everything it needs to do. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to fulfill the contract I have. I got the items. You pay for it. I give it to you. Machine give it to you. I'm out the way. Hey, we both were satisfied. So being truthful and upfront is very important. Honor. Purity of your interest. The integrity of it all. I'm a giant of kidney ego, and that ego said, oh, it's so intricate part of my life. The ego represents integrity. The purity of your interest. What's your agenda? What you want? Because some people go into your life and they try to call up to you to try to get something from you. You don't even see the attack coming. My thing is now you get to a certain point in your life, you done been through the games, you done played chess games, you done jumped around, you played checkers, you done played go fish, you done played Jim Rummy. Now you know how to play spades to the championship level. Now you know how to play chess in whatever. You can make 4 moves and win the whole board. Sometimes you gotta understand your purity of your intention, because you will see someone's intentions before they even make a move. If you're paying attention, again, that's when you have to get that relationship, that one-on-one. Ooh, that one-on-one is very important. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me give me a minute to make sure that my interests are pure. I'm not trying to, manipulate. I'm trying to be pure in all my actions, because if I'm doing these things, I'm gonna see prosperity. I'm gonna see growth. I'm gonna see everything I need. Because if I'm looking for money at the beginning, if money is the only thing I'm looking for, the first thing I'm looking for, I'm gonna fail every time, because I don't know what to do with it when I get it. But if I put these things in order, guess what? I'll be able to make sure my storehouse is filled and make sure I'll be able to help someone else if I'm doing the process right. So far, little bumps in the road, small ones, little small potholes. They can be easily fixed. But going back to the honor, being able to now honor those who taught you. No matter good, bad, or indifferent. What did they teach you? What did you learn? What was the lesson in the blessing? Or what was the blessing in the lesson? Who taught you? So that's why I have to give honor to those who, and to give appreciation, educate, appreciate, and empower. Education, appreciation, and empowerment. How do I appreciate you? You know what? Let me take Ken Ferguson taught me a lot about business. I have to call out their names and give them honor because guess what? They taught me something. They gave me something. I felt it. So you have to honor, give honor to those who have taught you, who've guided you, who've given you all the things you may have needed, the tools to succeed. The tools to be able to say, I'm a man and I ain't perfect by far, but I'm making a stride every day because that's what I took care of myself. I had to make sure I was able to love myself enough to be able to give love. I had to make sure I understood myself in order to understand others. I had to make sure that I had my thing together before I could even go and sit with someone else and tell them I want to make sure. So let me give honor to myself and say I conquered me. So now I can start working on mine. Mine is the accumulation of things, my life, my home, my children, those things are mine. So I want to make sure that I appreciate them because it's what I worked for those. You know, I remember the days of sitting in Mom's house and be like, I can't wait. Now that me and Mama best friends because the things that she taught me while I was up under her roof, now I put them in my roof, and guess what? My roof running real smooth. Mama, what? Mama, how long you been in that house? Had your own at 17, Pop sat off on at 17, had my own place 17 years old. Honor those who taught you. Next, this is a hard one sometimes for people. That's fidelity. True loyalty. Faithfulness. Loyalty to yourself, to your family, and true friendship. Loyalty. We can have an argument, but guess what? I'm loyal to you. May not be in this, but you know, we might have to separate on this thing, but I'm loyal to you, to the focus. That's what I want to see the best in you. Because you brought the best out of me. Fidelity, true friendship, and also holding on to your spiritual values. You get upset when people try to force something on you. Hold on, wait a minute. I'm holding on to my values. I know this means this in my life. That means this in your life. Don't force me to go your view. No, I'm loyal. But if we're going to work together, make sure we have fidelity. That's what makes you upset when you say, wait a minute, hold on. If anything, if I brought you, I'm loyal to you more than I am to anybody else because I'm sitting with you every day. I'm talking about, man, encouragement. You know, those are the things. Fidelity. True loyalty. True loyalty. I give you one. David and Jonathan. Jonathan had so much loyalty to David. He said, look here, man. My daddy looking to kill you, bro. You need to get up out of here. I'm giving you this information because, man, you my homie. You my ace. You my comrade, man. I'm going to give you this information, man. You get up out of here. My pop about to come get you, man. That's true loyalty. I'm going to have to, hold on. Listen, I care about, listen, I know my father got power. I know he got power. So let me get you up out of here before anything happens, before a hair on your head is touched, bro. Next one. Number 5, discipline. Take a moment. You got to make sure, hold on, self, because sometimes you can control. When I say self-control, no, I thank God that I don't lie. I remember back in the day when you was a young kid, one of the things that used to trigger us in grade school when somebody said your mama. We're gonna fight about your mama. Those two words, your mama. We go in the box. We about to fight. Your mama, don't, my mama. But as you get older and you have discipline, oh, my mama, yep, your mama too. Then you say, my mama, oh, I'm so glad you noticed. I'm glad, do you know my mama? Now you have the difficulties. Now you ain't got to go into fighting nobody because guess what? When you back then, you got the suspension. You got 3 days suspension. Your mama done whooped your butt. You done won the fight or whatever the case may be, but you done lost the battle because now you got to sit. Controlling your actions. Controlling your actions. Because knowing, like I said, you never know who. I get surprised when somebody says, "Oh my God, I know who you're on Facebook." I'm like, yeah, I watch you all the time. So now I have an audience, and so when I see that, and it's from elders, from my generation all the way down to the kids, man, I watch you on TikTok. Oh, really, man? So now I have to be aware of the content I put out there. And now that you see the authentic me, I ain't finna change up now. Ain't no point in changing up now. You done seen jazz, man, for jazz, man. You ain't got to worry about me switching up because I'm going to be the same person I was when I first started because that's what I self-control and discipline. I had to learn myself again and again. Next, number 6. Hospitality. The respect, the dignity, and the courtesy of life. The respect, the dignity, and the courtesy. Respect those. We may not, listen, I may not even know you enough to trust you. I don't care about you, but I respect you enough because you came to me man to man, or you've been faithful, you've been loyal, okay, I can talk to you, I can speak with you, I respect you. I'm gonna give you the dignity now to have a conversation where I ain't cutting you off. I ain't gonna cut you off. I want to listen to everything you got to say so that way when I respond, I'm responding to the things that you say, and then let's correct that. It's called vantage point. Have you ever seen the movie Vantage Point? Let me give you dignity. You may see, something from your viewpoint. You may have said something, you may have done something, but you ain't even noticed it because guess what? I didn't tell you. Now that I'm having a conversation, this is what made me mad. This is what made me. You're like, oh man, maybe I didn't mean it that way. Maybe you know what? Maybe it's my delivery. Now we can have a conversation. Now we can straighten it out. Now we have understanding. Now we can move forward. And the courtesy to make that, the courtesy to say, wait a minute, this ain't what I want. Don't tell. I ain't got to tell them. I ain't got to go tell everybody else. Because let me say, my thing is, I have to reflect. This is the reflection sometimes. It's after the fact. You see what I'm saying? It's after the fact. My reflection is after the fact. This is how I felt at that moment. Maybe maybe it touches, but this is how I felt at that moment. This is my blessing from that lesson. This is my lesson in that blessing. So, courtesy. The next one, number 7. You got to work hard, industriously. Have pride in yourself and in the work that you do. Set a higher expectation for yourself and work hand in hand to work under the grace of God. But you got to make sure you take care of yourself as you're working hard because you can't work hard if your mind ain't together. If you can't work hard, if your body tired. Sometimes I'll be worked out and my muscles all tight. I got to go in there and lay down. Why can't I be at work stiff as a board? Because that's what But now I had to take care of myself and sit back and be able to relax and find out how can I inflame these. Now, thank you for the cherries, because I didn't even know they was helping with inflammation. So I started eating the cherries after I work out. Now I don't have those stiff muscles. Now I can go out here and work out a couple more times. Finding solutions. Working hard. And also being in this way. One of the things I always say when I'm in the interview, I'm going to pay attention to detail. You got to make sure you pay attention to detail. I'm cutting this grass, and I'm sitting here, I'm talking about the grass look good, but it's just one. It's this one little spin. I can say, to the naked eye, it wouldn't even matter. But to the person who, that one little piece makes the whole thing like, dang, I ain't paying attention to the detail. Little things matter. That's why I was talking about the woman's touch. The whole motivational speak about the woman's touch or a woman's love. And I got sisters, brother. I got to work hard to make sure that got to work hard. So that's what you got to honor. Go back to the honor. Honor those. You got two women that's willing to help. Come on, I ain't putting in no cap. I'm sitting here, we didn't have a meeting, and we put all on. This is everything we said. I ain't not said. This is what we talking about. Okay. But working hard because now I want to make sure this stuff go off legs. Sometimes you got to be the legs. Sometimes you got to be the legs for people. They got the energy, they got the power, they got everything they need. But you got to be the legs for them because sometimes they may not be able to move as fast as they used to. They got they got all the wisdom, but they just can't move like they used to. So you got to be the legs sometimes. You got to go into training sometimes. In training sometimes. You got to work hard. Self-reliance. Let's go on to number 8. Self-reliance. But you got to understand you got to have independence as well too. Make sure your family come first, and don't be dependent. That you're so dependent that you can't be independent. Ooh. Don't become so dependent that you forget to be about being independent. That's why I was talking about sometimes some of these subsidies or these entitlements. We get to the point where now, you get dependent on that rent being paid every month. You're dependent on this and that and the other, that you're so dependent on it that you can't become independent. You can't even go out and get a job no more. Because if you get a job and you make a dollar over this amount, guess what? Those things might get cut off. Those things might be called into question. Those things. So it becomes now dependent on that stuff. That you can't be independent to build your own. I was telling somebody asked me yesterday, what is it that you want from a relationship? I said stability. That doesn't sound much like, relationships. I said, no, stability is universal. I need financial stability. I need to make sure that our communications are stable. I got to make sure the household is stable. It's almost stability. I want to be able to stay. I want to be comfortable. I ain't trying to be. I'm tired of jobs. I'm tired of just being broke, just being over broke. I'm tired of being just over broke. Now I want to say, you know what? If I'm talking about a week vacation, I ain't talking about a staycation. I'm talking about I want to go. Take me back out to Spain. Take me to. Take me on the real. Take me out to Dubai. Let me go and enjoy the fruits of my labor because that's what I've earned it. I become independent. Last but not least, number 9. And this is where I see a lot of brothers having problems at. Because a lot of people tell them, no, you can't do this, or no, we can't help you, or no. When they say no, God says yes. So that's why some will, some won't. So what next? So you have to persevere. Is the last one, number 9. Perseverance. Don't give up. Don't quit. Don't stop your vision. Don't stop your dream for nothing. Don't give up. Ladies and gentlemen, you use those 9 things. I'm telling you, you'll see success in ways you'll never imagine. It took me a long time. I said to myself, sometimes I wish if I had as much knowledge as I had back then, I'd be much further. But sometimes God's timing is His. Don't give up. Let me review those one more time. You all out 9 of them again. First one is having courage. Make sure you have your courage together. Next one is being truthful. Having honor. Showing fidelity. Showing self-discipline. Hospitality. Working hard. Self-reliance. And perseverance. New life, new day, new legacy.